I write to you from Harry's desk. I am tired, overworked and stressed. Harry's in this story. I'm in there as well. I'm writing myself in. I don't know where it's going or how it should begin. My extended family are in the story too. I'm not sure if anything will mean anything to you, but we tell stories. That's what we do. It could all be a pack of lies, but all of it is true. The story isn't linear. The script's all jumbled up. It's like picking out the right one from a lineup. It's poetry meets archaeology, and you have got to dig. The past is back to fuck you up. Welcome to the gig. The film is rolling behind me. These are fragments from home. If history tells us anything, it's never monochrome. You might not know who people are. You might not even care. They may be of no interest to you, but all of them were there. The Harry in this story was christened Arvīdu Pūrs, but now that he's in England, it's Harry he prefers. It's Harry because the anglicisation of names is what the British do. Harry was a displaced person, a result of World War II. I share my birthday with Action Man. We were launched upon the world in 1966, the toy of my childhood, plus skateboards and airfix kits. St George's Hospital Tooting, I was 6 weeks premature. In the incubator next to me lies little baby Doke. Compared to him, I'm a great big bloke. There's always someone worse off than you. My mother's one-liners were always true. I was quiet as a small kid. My mother told me fight. My father told me walk away. 2 wrongs don't make a right. My mother left Battersea for the St Helier estate, slum clearance in London, knock down and regenerate. Knock and run Londoners tearing up the town. They built a fence to keep them out before they tore it down. Locally known as the hole in the wall. Plank by plank was taken out till there was nothing left at all. My mother told a good story. She was christened Edith Eileen Anne. To the words she spoke to me, make me who I am. She hated being Edith, so her family called her Edie, to fit in with Jeffrey, Georgie, Charlie, Freddie and Billy. She grew up hungry and cold in a violent home. Her father battered her mother, and he battered his kids if they got in the way or dared to have anything smart to say. The kids were not evacuated in World War II. Her mother wanted them home, didn't know what to do. The Mitcham guns blasting out to every air raid, doodlebugs whistling, she was always afraid. Gas masks, egg powder, nothing to eat. My mum followed a man as he walked up the street, following a man eating an apple as though he was there at his table, asking, "Can I have your apple core, mister? Mister, can I have your apple core?" He threw it up over his shoulder. He didn't even look round. She picked it up and ate it, picked it up from the ground. Harry was a Latvian. He was an engineer. He worked on the London railways for over 27 years. Nearly 14,000 others settled over here. We have moved to Sutton. I am probably 6. Compared to Tooting in London, it's right out in the sticks. It's right on the edge of the A to Z. I bought one with my pocket money to read at night in bed. I don't know what attracted me. I guess all kids are odd. Sitting on my police car bedsheets, I'm part of the squad. I write down where my dad works, where I go to school. I mark where my mates live. It's such a useful tool. Harry left the prison camp and moved to Gravesend, Kent. I don't know if he chose the UK or if he went where he was sent. The Cold War was just starting. There was no going back. Stalin sent the boys returning home, straight off to the Gulag. My father lived 10 miles from my mother, in the countryside. Compared to her, he had an easy ride. His father was a bricklayer. His mother was a cook. She'd left back-to-backs in Sunderland. She'd lived life by the book. When war broke out, my granddad was with the ARP, then North Africa with Monty, and off to Italy. My father heard a plane went down. Kids were told to stay away. But kids do what they want to do on a British summer's day. He went trophy hunting, got some perspex from the cockpit, filed it down and shaped it. He was always making something. He was good with his hands. He also traded comics. He had plans. My dad's family's air raid shelter was all made out of brick. It wasn't damp and its walls were thick. It was used as a shed when I was a kid. I never really got to know what my grandfather did. My father said he never talked about the war, but my uncle said when he had a drink, he'd talk a little more. He brought back a German bayonet. He snapped the end off the tip. If his 2 young boys must play with it, he did not want them to slip. Harry first worked here on a farm, bringing in the yield. His family had a farm back home. He could work a field. They had a house in Jelgava. He was late into the war, and Harry lost everything of the life he had before. Action Man had eagle eyes. He had real hair. Action Man had gripping hands. I took him everywhere. 4 new figures were introduced in 1977. Certain kids know this stuff. I am 11. Every Saturday is spent round at my nan's. She buys me comics, still only cooks from cans. My mother tells stories and argues with her brothers. Jeffrey and Billy don't speak to each other. They're that sort of family. They are still at war. Always an argument, something to account for. By now, we have moved further out. We are off the map, closer to my dad's family, and we will not move back. The gardens in our road are up for developing. We have the run of them. A derelict wasteland for my friends and action men. But my dad still goes to Tooting. It's where he has his shop. We go there on Fridays for the market and the sweet shop. I go to work with my dad when I'm about 13. I get fully immersed in the South London scene. Everybody has a nickname. I meet the big man, Tiny. I meet Charlie the plumber and Laurie Ferrari. I meet Mick the Greek and Mick the alarm. I meet Bunny, the car mechanic. His wife has numbers on her arm. It's here I first meet Harry. He is hard to understand. He nearly breaks my fingers when he shakes my hand. I'm not exactly sure where Harry was, but he was lodging with a family. He would never have kids and never marry. He would go to Buck and Ryan for most of his tools and to Bonds of Old Euston Road for the metal he used. for in Harry's spare time he was building a clock. Maybe that's how he found my father's shop. The clock was too well built, the bearings too tight. He gave it to my father put it right. Harry would pop in and make things for my dad. I guess run down London in the 70s still beat Stalingrad. By the 80s, we're in Midhurst. It's right out in the sticks. My dad's mates think him mad, leaving London for West Sussex. But sleepy Sussex has stories too. Just exactly what did Mrs. Whitehorn do? She once worked for the PWE. The PWE did black propaganda. They spanned the dark arts of lies and slander. Marion Whitehorn was in the paper war. She was good with a pen. She could draw. She drew penises on Hitler. She put the SS in Scheiße, German for shit. The stickers were dropped all over Europe. Her pieces of art were a direct hit. And in World War I, as a result of anti-German feeling, J.C. Ketterer hung himself with a clock line from our ceiling in our new home above the shop, where we hang his picture and we hang his clock. Worried about his lease and snubbed by his peers, he'd had his shop in Midhurst for over 20 years. And talk about Old Euston Road, that's a right old state. Bonds are now in Midhurst too, when the shop they had is knocked down to regenerate. And Harry has retired from the railways and has nowhere to stay. What happened to those he lodged with, I'm unable to say. My mother always loved an underdog, so Harry's down with us. Harry's no trouble, not the kind to make a fuss. The dynamic physique action man was demobbed in 84. By this time, I'm 18 and I am anti-war. But I still keep them in the shed, in a wine box for their bed. One of them's in every slot. Some things from your childhood mean a lot. My girlfriend lives in Petworth, 7 miles away. I met her in the pub on my birthday. I meet all of her family, but I do not meet her dad. She visits him every Saturday. They don't have much to say. When he was a kid, he was buried alive. Lucky for him, he was pulled out. He survived. But 28 boys died in that Petworth school. The dumb bomb missed its target. Don't they all? My grandfather Bill dies of cancer. My mother takes the call. My dad is on the golf course fighting with a ball. I'm sent off to find him. I find him on the 5th. It's hard to break the news that sometimes you have to give. My mother fought all her life. Now she is unwell. She has had a breakdown. She's in Grayling Well. My girlfriend's father is in there too. It feels like living hell. The chapel where the school was bombed is now a small estate. It seems that even Sussex can knock down and regenerate. Harry is like the other granddad, the one I never had. I never met my mother's dad. When my mother heard he died, she said she never felt a thing. She wasn't blurry-eyed. My mother was always honest and not a hypocrite. Told her brothers, you dig the hole and I will piss in it. Harry never went back. when the wall came down. He stayed in that small, quiet Sussex town. My dad said he'd take him, but he didn't want to go. Perhaps there are some things you don't want to know. Perhaps there are some things you never forget. Harry resharpened the tip on that German bayonet. Harry was a Latvian. He was an engineer, a refugee in the UK for over 50 years. In World War II, the population of Latvia falls by 25%. Then Sovietisation crushes all dissent. The Baltic states, ping-pong balls, just strategic pawns, a trading commodity like cigarettes and nylons, always in the middle of some kind of invasion, fighting off extermination and assimilation while trying to build its own sovereign nation. My accountant is in Streatham, if I remember that right. Or it may have been in Purley on another night, but my accountant is definitely in Streatham. He was my father's accountant too. They are a Malnick and Co. Malnick was a Jew. Now I deal with Amin and his daughter Benazir. Amin doesn't have a nickname. I've known him for 40 years. Just recently, I was at his daughter's wedding. London feels like a part of me, a skin that I'm still shedding. For when I'm back in London, when I'm on my own, I drive the long way past Tooting Bec on my way back home. I'm signing off now from Harry's desk. I'm tired, overworked and depressed. I'm losing my grip as these stories meander. Amin, my accountant's father, was kicked out of Uganda. My government is planning to send refugees to live in Rwanda. Russia calls the Ukrainians Nazis. Same old propaganda. I really do have Harry's desk. I've also Harry's lathe. The full story of his life is lost to the grave. Harry's ashes are next to my dad's, above the fireplace in the shed. Sometimes I go and speak to them, though both of them are dead. Today, I got out my action men. They're in the garage just next door. I took them from their cardboard box and I laid them on the floor and I put them in their jeep and I sent them off to war. Thank you. He wrote a war diary which goes to the National War Museum, and the diaries and everything else are here. And so this is a very short piece about what it felt like to come to Riga for the first time, and try and explain that sort of feeling of being detached. In a way, try to understand what it must have been like for Harry, because I found it difficult. It's easy now. I'm speaking to all of you. You're all in English, and it would have been a much different experience for Harry going to England in 1947 or 48 when he went. So this is a piece about my shopping in the supermarket. It's called The Supermarket. I bought a bag for life in Riga to carry home my shopping. It's all so easy now, nothing to understand. I bought nothing with English writing, no recognised brands. Just me and my basket, picking what I fancied. Beer, bread, crisps, some pickled fish, tea bags, coffee, cheese and biscuits. And of course, I bought vodka. You couldn't do that, could you? You had to learn a language, master the basics, not pick up whatever you wanted and shove it in a basket. Just go to the checkout and tap your card. Exit easy now, nothing is hard. No separate shops, no, not the right words, no getting your accent, no, not getting heard, no coupons, no rationing, no getting what you fancy. I learned to say paldes, paldes, paldes. It's the first word I learn. One word, that's it. That's all it takes. Thank you to the creators of Google Translate. Coleslaw in a tub, some sort of pancake. Don't know what it is, wrapped up in shrink wrap. A bar of chocolate and a bottle of vodka. A decent bottle of vodka to drink your health. You who are way past caring, who are dead in a wooden box on a white painted shelf. I am here in Riga, looking for your former self. A country you left at 31, a conscripted soldier, only child, only son. In my apartment, I unpack my bag. I sit at the table and think, and I open my vodka and drink. Thank you. This is the second film. I will tell you about some letters I once had, some letters I inherited from my dad. These letters he also inherited, these letters I have given away to better bear witness to the things that they say. These letters were wrapped up in string and kept in a plastic bag. These letters were all my dad's friend Arvid had left. These letters were written by a woman named Ina, whom I have never met, and a recipient who received them, Arvid, is dead. These are the letters of Ina Tass. These letters are all written to Arvīdu Pūrs. Every letter written is hers. But she addresses all the letters
to my dear brother.
They grew up in the same farmhouse together in the region of Zemgale in Latvia. That farmhouse was called Teni. It was situated in Misa parish. I went early this year to look for it, but Teni farm has vanished. But I once had the letters of Ina Tass before I handed them over to the Museum for Latvians Abroad. I handed them over to keep them safe. I handed them over to send them home. I handed them back to her people so the letters would not feel so alone. Ina Tass writes,
I can say about your daddy that he was taken to the vast homeland,
a term the Latvians use for Siberia,
then discharged and died in hospital in Riga. Mummy was with him at the hospital the whole time.
Arvid is buried at a grave in Riga, in a grave I cannot find. These are the letters of Ina Tass, scribbled and written on whatever paper she had. Plain paper, lined paper, postcards and thin airmail letters, all reaching out to Arvid, telling him not to forget her, for she is alone. Maybe one day they can all go home.
Please send me chocolate or something I can trade. Please, can you write to your mother? She does not believe that you are alive. Sometimes the letters to Latvia take months to arrive. If you write in Russian. That way the letters might get through. I can't find a job. I'm not sure what to do.
I write emails to Agnes Loser. Agnes Luz writes back. Agnes Luz is my translator. She brings to me, in my mother tongue, the living words of Arvīdu. She has translated them all. She has written her into her blog. Aina has gone digital, more alive than when simply analogue. Agnes is deep in the archives. Most were bombed, the past all broken, but Agnes keeps digging, keeps on sifting. The past is complicated, it takes heavy lifting. But I have the letters of Arvīdu, my gateway to the past, a gateway that stays open for as long as the letters last. The letters span December the 1st, 1946 to April the 23rd, 1952. 6 years in camps and hostels, 6 years of tiny clues. These are the letters Latvia has. They are left in a museum if you want to fill in the gaps for one life in millions who moved across boundaries that were drawn onto maps. These are the letters of Arvīdu, 44 letters to fill in the gaps, wrapped up in string in a clear plastic bag. These are the letters I have cut up. I present them in fragments as something not whole, a narrative arc you cannot control. Aina writes.
Today I received the first signs of life from you. I cannot write at all. Tears fall like raindrops. I can only cry. Tell me how you ended up in Germany. I was thinking you had stayed with the Russians and suffered somewhere in the fields of Siberia. I took your letter, cut out the signature, and sent it home as a sign that you are alive. Paper remains just paper. Don't ask too much about your father. His last words were, "Where are the dogs?" And with that he passed away. They say, if we don't return home this year, she will sell both the cows because it's very difficult to get pasture and hay. Dear brother, the Russians are in our father's home. Our loved ones have been thrown out. I sit in the room by the oven, but even then it's freezing. My room is so cold, I have to wear gloves while writing. Tell me why you don't write. Vera managed to escape the Russians with a couple of suitcases in the darkness of the night. Please tell me if you are sick, or if some other misfortune has fallen you. Karina is still in the wide homeland. As far as I know, she was sentenced to 8 years. Isn't that terrible? You know the conditions I'm in. They have worsened this year. There isn't much we can say, because we can't help from here. Mother writes she has saved some cigarettes for you. Can you get hair ribbons in red or blue? Can you get a pair of women's stockings, size 8 to 10, and some thread? It's quite funny, I have to ask. My weight is 63 kilograms. What about yours? I really have no strength for heavy tasks. Those little things would be very useful because I'm in a tight financial situation. It's really difficult to find a job, especially for a woman. Please forgive the smudges. I had to cry while writing. Lately, I've been struggling with my teeth. One tooth needed to be completely extracted. I will need a couple of new teeth, but they are expensive. Your chocolate tastes wonderful. Thank you so much for it. If there were jobs, things would be manageable. But right now, it's impossible. I received a letter from my mum. I rarely get letters, about one per month. She says herself, "I just want to say that we're still alive." So maybe there have been deportations or something else. Keep your head up and may God help us. The food here is terrible. Every day, even on Sundays, there's soup. And it's so tasteless. I'm dealing with the German authorities. They require some greasing. You can't imagine how much joy these packages bring me. I send you warm greetings, and I hope you won't forget me. Your mother was weak for a while, but now she's better and eagerly waiting for both of us at home. I've been writing reassuring letters, but they're old and her heart aches more than ours. As for Vera, I hope the Russians haven't harmed her. She lived near Vienna, then fled from there. Judging from all these letters, life over there has become intense. I have started to come to terms with my life in the camp. If I knew English, I would have worked already. I'm sick of this disgusting life that has no foundation. Where to go next in an unknown direction? To Australia? I can't go there. My health is too weak. That leaves Canada, but it's too far away. I won't see my loved ones and homeland anymore. Clearly, I would like to go home, but Siberia stands in front of us, and I'm afraid of that. It would be nice if you could send me a dress as well, one that I could alter according to my height. Could you be so kind and send me something, whatever you can, to help me out? Maybe with your help, I can make deals with them. It seems we may not see our mums again. Mrs. Kakara has passed away. She fell while currying wood and died on the spot. The cow stops giving milk. Hopefully she is not going to die. Our mummies spent Easter together with white pies, beer and vodka. I don't understand why Mum is such a procrastinator with writing letters, but it's likely that the Russian censorship doesn't let those letters through. Dear brother, I can't understand what's going on with you. You no longer write at all. In all recent letters, you are referred to as young lad. Probably she's not allowed to write your name. A young lad doesn't catch attention. I secretly want to tell you something. I think I might get married because I truly have no other option. I'm in a helpless situation. I wish you all the best in this new year. May it bring us better luck than the previous one. There's no news from home. Let's hope for the best. We really have some beautiful days here now, but I feel so depressed. Today, your letter has given me a sense of joy again. My address is still the same, and so is my name, although I think that with the new year, my name might change. My dear brother, it's been more than a year now since I have heard anything from you. I really want to know how you're doing and what you're up to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geoff. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for all coming. And perhaps someone has a question.
Geoff, when you were doing research, what was the most surprising thing that you found?
It's a difficult question. Just how hard it actually, most surprisingly, is how hard it is to find information. Like Agnes, like amazingly helpful, otherwise I would have never got anywhere. But just really, really hard to find information. And then it's much harder to find information about Ina because she's a woman, and therefore if she married, the name's gone. So it's really, the fact that it's just, information is just really difficult to find, and trying to find a woman is much, much harder. So yeah, that was very difficult. It still is very difficult, not getting anywhere. Can't find, she just disappears, just like as if she's just gone. Yeah. Sure.
Do you want me to stand here? No? Okay. What do you mean? Okay. Good job.
You want the light back on?
Oh, turn the lights
sorry.
back on. Okay, that's
Sorry. Sitting in the dark, sorry.
that's okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
How was it perceived at home in UK?
Yeah, I think really well actually. I think people were generally really interested, and obviously because the current political situation in the world, it's people see the resonance with it, which I think is one of the things, the frightening thing that writing it was one of the reasons I started writing it. Was when after my father died, I inherited Harry's things, and then when the Ukraine war started, I got them back out and had a look, and then thinking, I'd always thought there was a prisoner of war diary, and then I look at the dates and the original diaries when he's still retreating with the German army. So I think people really feel that resonance, and it really just doesn't seem any different. You know, that's a really scary, horrible thing. You know.
How did you? Many people in Britain look at Latvian legionaries on the German side,
Yeah.
not by their own choice,
Yeah.
many of them, called them Nazis and treated them quite poorly.
Yeah.
How did you have to reconcile that at all in your dealings with Harry?
Yeah, I did because when I came, I met the first person I met was a Jewish researcher, Alexander's, and met him for a couple of hours. He went through the letters, and then he told me about. I was here by just pure coincidence when they have the commemorative thing at the memorial, and he said to go there, and that was like weird. And I was phoning my partner at home saying, you know, I'm here, and there's all this controversy about meeting at the monument, and I was trying to understand that, and I was also I lived with Harry. Harry lived with my family, but I used to talk to him about the war when I was at school, when I was studying World War II, but I didn't know anything about any of that. And then you always have that worry about what that might mean, what he might have been complicit in. Yeah, so it's really complicated, and I think that is the problem. Like, history is complicated, and what I've been trying to like get it all in, you know. So it's a difficult, complicated story to tell. I think the story of Latvia is a complicated story, but I think World War II is more complicated than Agnes said, to follow Timothy Schneider, an American academic, talking about Ukraine, and history of Ukraine is complicated. So you get all these binary narratives, and it's not helpful, and people don't want to spend the time to really see how complicated these stories are, and to look at and say, yeah, it's complicated, and it's all, people make choices and wrong choices, and so it's complicated to put it all together and feel like you're trying to be honest to everything and not miss anything out either, and not run away from the difficult things. Yeah, difficult.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Geoff
Thank you
and
very much.
Sarah. Yes,
Thank
and
you.
we've got another session. If you have friends who might be interested, they can come at 9:30 or 11:30 tonight. So thanks for